Thank you.
As if it didn't.
Magic.
Right, share. That's what.
We'll get straight into it then. So this is what we want to speak to you about this morning.
It is.
About how we've become really hyper-local.
I think it's easy, you know. Look, we're not saying that this is what happened when Sue first joined. You know, you take any listing you can when you first get going, but as you start to get into it more, the idea is to become really, really local. There's massive benefits for that. Just need to tell me how to move it, Sue.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Right.
There you go. Off you go.
Oh, that's me, lovely. So yeah, just becoming trusted in your local area and becoming really hyper focused and getting known for being the go-to agent. So your clients really prefer an agent who's got really strong connections in the area, and we live in the village that we work in. Hyperlocal agents are trusted due to their visibility and community involvement. So the more you can get known by doing things around you, the better it is. And referrals and recommendations come to us a lot now because of this. And this morning, we're going to share with you the key strategies to become recognised in your village, your town, or wherever you live in. Just from telling you how we've done it, we're nowhere near where we need to be, but you know, we have had some success. And the other thing that's really changed our business last year was we met up with Chris Webb a few times at the market centre. Then we asked him to come and see our team as well. And from him, we've learned a lot and implemented a lot of processes this year. So if you've not read his book, he's got 2 books out now. I highly recommend it.
Okay, so these are the topics that we're going to go through: social media, database, leaflets and flyers. We're going to touch on events, branding, network, and sponsorship. So let's crack on with social media. I think social media is such a powerful tool at your disposal. And obviously, I mean, we're just repeating what everyone always says. Consistency on social media is definitely the key. Okay. What we would recommend is be on the all of the platforms, predominantly of your Facebook, your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
And what we found is, because of the lovely Steve Litt, we're finding that the reels are really working for us now. We hadn't been using them for a while, but the hits on reels seems to be really phenomenal at the minute.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, you know, you are the face. You're the face of your business, so you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable in front of the camera.
People want to see you, don't they?
You know, this is a face for radio. I've said it every time I've been on these things. But you just got to get yourself out there. You just got to do it. Otherwise, you know, people don't recognize who you are.
And you get more hits on the movement on the videos than you do on the static shots. Definitely.
Join all Facebook groups. I mean, absolutely anything that you can in your local area, whatever it is, but then interact with them, engage with them, put comments, put likes on other people's. They're then more likely to put contacts on yours. And we find, you know, with the Wragg Keller Williams page, there's certain groups that we can't get in there all the time, but we can get in by ourselves. So that's fine. We just do that as well, don't we?
Yeah, and I also set up a local Facebook page myself as well, because the local Facebook page would only allow businesses to promote on a Friday. So I have a business advertising and networking group on Facebook as well, and that got some early traction, and we get lots of businesses sharing on there now too.
So what I would say is educate on the local market, on the economy, on mortgages, selling, buying tips, anything you can think of. Obviously, your social media doesn't want to be all about real estate. However, when you are talking about real estate, you are educating.
And we go out branded in the village, coffee shop. We haven't got the branding on the back of the laptop, but I think that's a really good idea to have. And just be visible and make sure people know who you are with your branding.
And then obviously promote local businesses as well.
Massively.
Let's start this, mate.
Yeah, I love that saying. Your database is your data bank. I absolutely love that saying, because every time you go into your database, you know, there's business sat there that we're not tapping into. The easiest way to keep on top of this and be consistent with it is your DT-D2. I can send out the link to that, and it's done for 2025. And basically, you're touching your database every quarter. But even more than that, as your database gets big, then you need to narrow that down for your Mets and your non-Mets so that you can isolate your cheerleaders and make sure they're the ones that you're doing the hoodoo on, as Claire always says. Who do you know? There's plenty of business in your data bank that you are not utilising.
Dan, do you want to say something?
Yeah, just quickly, what does DT-D2 stand for? Just
do the database twice.
okay.
So this is basically what I do in my contacts is I have a local Mets tag. So I'm interested in really speaking, you know, on a sort of quarterly basis to those people in my local area. So within the local Mets tag, I then put them into a DT-D2. And that means that Nurture actually tells you at the start of the week, hey, these are the people you need to call this week.
So your task list is really your calling list. So you don't have to think of who you need to call. But if you do it that way, those people are getting a call 4 times a year.
Workflows, obviously, you know, one of the big things you get set up very quickly is your workflows. Make Nurture your friend and let it do all the hard work. So we have workflows for buyers. We have an 8x8 for buyers. We have an 8x8 for sellers. My networking contacts, they have a different 8x8. And also, if you're doing competitions or whatever, you'll have competition entrants. You want to give them something. Now, you know, you don't want to give them a buyer's 8x8. You want to give them something just light and maybe a bit light and fluffy, but so then they can know who you are, a little bit of introduction to yourself, really. And then once we've done that, once they've been through that workflow, they then just move into our 36 touch. Now, obviously, they've got the option to come out at any point because they've got that do not unsubscribe tag. Yeah, that's the way that we do it.
But really look into the workflows that Mark's built for us. They're phenomenal. You need to tailor them to yourselves. But I personally took some time out of the business to set that up. I only had to set it up the once. But we're getting some really good traction from the workflows because it's doing your completion dates, your birthdays. It's giving out really valuable information to the guys, to the clients.
I mean, we've got a business showcase coming up at the end of the month. Now, that for us is a big opportunity to get contacts. So it is we're wanting to get contact names, and
they'll go straight into a workflow.
The workflow's already done. So don't start the workflow after you've done the contacts. You make sure you've got it. So I've got a plan, basically a 4-week touch point on that workflow for the business showcase. One, it's just a nice, hey, great to meet you at the business showcase, blah blah blah. The second one is all about them. Actually, I'd really like to know about your business. What do you do, and how can we help you? It's coming from a bit of contribution. And then the third one is much more about us.
And asking who do they know that we can help.
Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, I mean,
do this one.
Leaflets and flyers, postcards, whatever you want to do. I think we did a big one, sort of an introductory one, when Sue first started, and we sort of plastered that about. I think we did about half the village, to be truthful. Our village is about 5,500, 6,000 houses,
which is what everybody tells you is about the right amount of people to have in your database and to look after. That should be your core area, about 5,000 to 6,000 chimney pots.
But then be a little bit more specific. So either 2020, so that is 20 houses at one side, 20 houses at the other, or the whole street road, depending on the size and what you want to do. But we do leaflets when we're valued, leaflets if we're having an open house, leaflets obviously on the same place for when it's sold, and when completed new neighbours. So by designing them, pushing that out, that street, if you like, are getting 4 touch points from us for each property.
And it keeps the community updated what's going on in the property market by doing that as well.
I think when we've done these things before, we've always talked about the Village magazine. This is the thing that comes through the door free. And we've been advertising in that for about 3 years now. Don't underestimate how well that can do. Not everybody in your area are on Facebook or on Instagram. Yeah, we have a lot of the older population within our village. They're not on those. They're not on those platforms.
We get a lot of traction from the magazine, don't we?
Yeah.
But we make sure our photographs on that advert every time as well. So people say, "Oh, we walk around the village," and people go, "Oh, you're the property people."
So I think by now, I think we're getting about 6 to 10 sales a year from that Village magazine, which is pretty awesome
It's
going.
a good return on investment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good.
But consistency is the key. You can't just do it for a couple of months and say, "Oh, I didn't get anything from it." You know, I mean, we've actually gone into a different area now, a different magazine, which is I think that's a bi-monthly one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to
So it
see
expands
what
our area a bit
happens.
because it's a higher price point.
We're going to see what happens with that one over
That's
this
only
next
because
year.
we're established here that we can now go and get a different
Yeah,
area.
we've done that. Wouldn't have done that otherwise. And again, mixture of information, not all about houses, but predominantly we want to do real estate.
And these are just some ideas for property events that you can go through. I mean, my suggestion would be 4 a year, but you need to be planning them out and you need to be isolating them dates now. I mean, we've been planning for this business showcase for about 8 weeks now and getting everything in order. So you can't just expect things to happen. You do need to put a plan in place. But ideas, Valentine's, Easter, Halloween, Christmas. We do a client appreciation event in our garden every year for a barbecue. Sorry, last year we just did a really quick barbecue. It was literally burgers and sausages, and then we just provided drink. But you know, people love it, and they're already asking us what date it is for this year. So again, it's that consistency, isn't it?
And you can never tell. I mean, we always think, oh, they'll come for a couple of hours. No, they're here till late. They're here till late.
Yeah, we know some party animals, so there you go. But yeah, so that's part and parcel of the client appreciation. I usually do it on my business anniversary, which is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that's a really good one to do. Your business birthday is a great one to do, especially, you know, when you're first starting out. We did the first, I mean, actually, we did your first birthday when it was locked down, so you were restricted to the amount of people you could have.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it was
so
about
30 people,
20 or 30
yeah.
people, that was it.
Yeah.
Red Day, obviously, you know, everybody now really should be starting to think about what they're going to do for Red Day in May, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's just supporting a charity or giving some help, giving something back to your local community. We go to the local food bank and give our time up for the day, but we go branded and do social media.
We also asked a couple of the parish councillors what they thought would be really good for this year. So that's we'll see.
Yeah.
Also, don't think you have to organise all the events yourself, right? This is a really good one, but jump onto other people's events. If somebody else is organising something,
piggyback on it.
Jump onto that. Let them do the hard work. Property clinics is a good one. I know a couple of the team do like property clinics with maybe a mortgage advisor, and it's just like an open. They tell people where they're going to be, and they're open about it, and people can come in. Also, you know, costs. I'm a massive one for keeping costs down. So go with your third-party contacts, maybe a mortgage advisor or a conveyancing solicitor. Get them to help with the cost of the actual event that you're organising.
Branding. So, you know, to start off with, you might not have a lot of money to put into your marketing and your branding. There are a lot of things you can do for free, but these are some other ideas for you. So just get your branding out there consistently everywhere. So the same branding, so people get to know you.
I mean, I would say probably on the power-ups and that, 99% of the time, I'm in a branded polo. I'm in a branded polo. I'm ex-military, so I use it as a uniform. You know, for me, it's just right. I'm in polo. I'm in work.
It's in work mode.
But just get you everywhere you go, you want to be seen, and people want to know who you are.
Yeah, and then we have pens that have got our name on and our phone number. They're pretty cheap to source, aren't they? But it's nice to leave with a client when you've been out to see them as a reminder.
And we're nicking ideas from other agents as well. The laptop stickers, fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Beer mats, we've now got beer mats out in two of the pubs in the village.
It is a bit weird though, having your glass of wine on top of your face, I have to say. It's a bit strange.
I think it's pretty awesome. But you know, fridge magnets. People who like fridge magnets, they very rarely take it off the fridge. So if you want to have a fridge magnet with your mug on it, then that's a great one. Shopping trolley, that's something that we're probably going to do for the showcase. You know, it just means that every time they go to Lidl, Aldi,
wherever
the other high,
everybody uses
shop.
the shopping discs, don't they?
Banners for your open day, for when you're doing like presentations and things like that. And then we're just ordering the feather flyers, the big tall ones that you can stick out.
Again, from some of the training that we've had recently, the open house, supersizing that. I mean, that's a complete training on its own. But yeah, supersize what you're already doing.
In our village, we have a railway track, and I spend half my life there really, because
It's busy, isn't it? It's really
sometimes there's 4 or 5 trains going. But on the side of this house, it's got advertising boards, and it does limit them to one industry. But the estate agency one that is there is probably going to be coming off around about March, and I've already got our name down to whack straight in there. So that's another good idea.
But only spend your money on branding when you've got the money to spend. You know, there are a lot of things you can do for free.
Networking of business groups. Networking is certainly a strategy that I've used since we've been building the business. And I have changed tact. I've looked at different networking groups. I always look at the return of investment. So how much am I paying for that networking group compared to what I'm receiving in? And I have left some. I want to be more local. There was one that was more sort of Sheffield Leeds area, and it wasn't working for me, so I just came away from it. Our Chamber of Commerce one, that wasn't really my bag at all. Didn't like it.
Doncaster's too wide, isn't it?
So I would say find the one that really you're comfortable with, and as Daryl has done, as Steph has done, make your own. If you want to make your own networking group. They've had massive, great success with their networking groups. But find your tribe, often work closer with a mortgage advisor or 2 mortgage advisors, perhaps, conveyancers, probate solicitors, that type of thing.
Yeah, we met a divorce solicitor this week as well, so we've got a meeting with her. We met her at the magazine event, actually. She was having a big party, but we met a conveyancer there.
Yeah.
So yeah, probate's really good. I mean, we're not Dr. Death, but we do get a lot of probate properties because we've got such close relationships with solicitors.
And I think I think the big networking group BNI will always say, you've got to give to get. So do provide introductions, referrals, then you're more likely to receive them without a doubt. But it is about
but networking is on our GPS, and it has been for the last 4 years.
And networking is just like our business. It's just like your business and our business. It's about following up. Follow-up meetings, one-to-ones, if you want to call them that. That is really when you're going to help people and get to know them.
And then sponsorship, again, just getting your name out there, your branding. We personally sponsored the under-12s girls team at the football. They've got T-shirts. They walk around the village with our logo all over it. Again, it's just that exposure. Yeah,
I mean, there's some great agents within the market centre that are really connected with the schools. Obviously, our children are way older than that, but schools is a great one to be into, PTAs, things like that. Church groups.
I know Michael Bailey's really good at the charity stuff as well. So if you're unsure about anything, just tap into his Facebook. He's always doing something.
I mean, Michael Bailey's saved Christmas.
He has. He did save Christmas. Yeah. And he's doing a sleep out event as well, isn't he? Coming up, he's going to sleep out for the night for a charity. So yeah, there's lots of things there. But yeah, if you're not following Michael Bailey, he's brilliant at this.
I would say support local charities when you can, whether that's giving time up or money. But I would always lead with time first.
And everything we're talking about, it just means that you're in so many different arenas that people feel that they know you and they've not even met you.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's lots more. I've no doubt everybody will be chipping in with ideas. But just to conclude, by becoming a local agent means that you will become the local property expert, and that's what you're wanting. Without a doubt, you'll receive more direct referrals and not need to travel as far. I'm all for that. You know, if it's available, I'd love to walk to the appointments, but not all of them. Not all of them can do that. Right, and I think really that is about it. So very open to
any questions that anybody wants to ask us at all? Open floor.
Yeah, you've mentioned the parish council magazines and the back of, which is something I do. You seem to have really good response levels from that. What's your messaging? Because I've been doing those for at least 3 years and have had very little interest. Indirectly, I think I've had some, but you know, not a great deal compared to you guys.
Are you the only property agent in that magazine, Simon? Are you exclusive?
I'm not now, no, because one of my competitors who also lives in the village has got the back page. My ad is better than his because his is just a generic high street estate agent ad with his mugshot on the front. But yeah, for 2 years, I was the only one.
We actually change our advert every month, but it's the same branding, it's the same colour, it's got George and I's photograph on it, but it always just get changed up. I've always got a QR code on there. And I've always got a link to my Valpal.
And definitely what we do is we say the local, the village.
The Rossington agent. Yeah, we actually put, because, you know, people say the local agent, but they live the other side of town. So, you know.
Because, I mean, in our village, there is us and Hannah, you know, and that's it. Everybody else is not local. They might say they are, but they're not. They're in some other area.
Sorry, once a year we buy the front page as well.
Right.
Where's the camera, George? I don't know whether you can see that, but that's half a page. So it's very bold because it's in the red. We do stand out, but it's very different. But we do change it up. But this month you're going to do an article, aren't you?
Next month I'm just going to do more of a property related one about the village, which I've not massively done. You know, it's more about. It is about branding, really, and being the local, and then obviously they're seeing you all around as well. But that magazine, you know, well, obviously we always ask people when they contact us, where have you seen us? Where have you seen us? And it's either really, when people are doing that, it's either boards or the magazine. So it could be a combination between the two.
But yeah, QR codes is the way to go. If you've not got one on there, you need to capture them.
I have. It goes to my link tree, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I want to hit my local area quite hard because there is no estate agent, because I'm in between Witham and Braintree, so Silver End is just a little village by itself. So I'm going to do my first leaflet, which will be about me. Yes. And then I need to sort of know what journey and how often I should be maybe leafleting, because I can walk around, and I'm going to contact the local school as well. So I just need to sort of have some ideas really as to what other leaflets I should be sending out that are going to be beneficial.
Can I ask, Mel, how many properties are on the market in your village, just per se, or with every agent?
There is probably, how many are on for sale at the moment?
Yes.
About 22.
Okay, so they're not on the market with you, okay, right now, because you're fairly new to that area.
I'm just signing one up.
But what you can do is you can do a leaflet drop to say, we can see a property's come up for sale on your street. Do you know how it's affected the price of yours? And bounce off the back of the other estate agents. Also promote the other estate agents' businesses, because nobody else does that. Just say, really want to get the community moving. Do you know that, I don't know, Sequence have put this property on the market this week? Do you know which new properties have come to the market? Yes, you're promoting the other businesses, but nobody else is doing that. You're just telling them what's happening in the community, even if it's not with you.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well, I can't remember who it was Simon Gates or somebody else, but they've done about the and this is probably more videos, to be truthful, but they've done about like the top selling streets.
Oh, it's Chris Watkins.
Chris Watkins, like top selling streets in the village, or the obviously price points, the highest price point street in the village. But I quite like the fact that this road has had the most transactions. You know, in 2024, this more houses sold on this street than any other in the village,
So
and it's really quite a surprising one.
Yeah, we're booking our photographer out, and we're going to do 5 top streets in the village, and we'll start at number 5, and we'll say we're going to do number 4 next week. Tune in to see if it's your street, and just keep dangling that carrot. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea. But Chris Watkins did it really well on a video. It's got some older content on it, because I think Daryl said the Zoom links don't work on it to find that data, but you can find it all on home search.
That's really helpful. I did go to the local pub, and they're actually going to do a refurb, and they're going to do a Western theme because it's called Western Lane. So I'm going to do their journey on my social media. They said that they're more than happy for me to come in and do some filming and try and promote them. So yeah, that's really.
And dear Matt, Mel, dear Matt, with the QR code on for the new pub.
Yes,
for the launch.
definitely. And with the 2020 for other agents' properties and things like that, I haven't even thought about that, because I've just done it for the one that I'm just about to list. But I'm going to get busy.
You're not saying it's on the market with me. You're saying a property's come up for sale in your street. So you're not telling them anything they don't already know.
So let's face it, Mel, the chances are that agent isn't leafleting.
Yeah,
That's
Not
right.
in my area, because they're all demographically in Braintree or Witham, and they're more interested in the sort of the area that they're in, and that's just come about. So I don't think that they've got anybody specific, because there's lots of different boards, different agents.
Yeah.
If you're the property expert, just bounce off everybody else's business until you're established.
Anything else, guys?
Anybody got anything else they want to ask?
Yeah, the beer
George.
mat. Clearly, you'd started those recently, and there's been a lot of talk about beer mats over the last few months, hasn't there? Have you got a QR code and you've got a Bitly link to it, or what have you, so you can see what the return is for that? Has that been, can you pick up from
That
that?
would have been a really good idea, but no. What I have listened to, actually, you can actually get like a phone number, and this is definitely something I'm looking at now. Apparently, people are more inclined to go with somebody who has got a landline number than a mobile number, and obviously you can have different landline numbers and track your success rate on those, and they're around about £10, you know, to do it. You can have like £10 for this number, do a campaign, and then bin that number.
Brilliant
or
for tracking.
change it to something else. So it's something I'm looking at. Once I've looked into it, I'll let you know.
Okay, so I use a company called Telecoms World for my local telephone numbers, and £15.80 for a month. So that's how I get my landline. So I've got one here in Northampton, and I've also got one in Rickmansworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have one for the boards, but so yeah, we've not thought about it for the beer mats, but yeah, good idea for next time we'll get them printed.
And you can have that number actually ring your mobile. Just go straight through to your mobile.
Yeah, that's what mine does. There isn't a real landline. Yeah.
I was going to ask something.
A dear.
George, you know, you do a lot of networking. So which of the networking groups? I know that you said that stay local in your networking, but BNI and anything. So could you just elaborate a little bit?
I don't do BNI. I don't particularly like. I mean, I'm nothing wrong with them. They are definitely one of the biggest
Doesn't
ones.
suit our
But
business.
it's
So.
doesn't align to my culture at all. So I go to do two in Doncaster. One is just a Friday, every Friday, and one is fortnightly on a Thursday, daytime. And then I go to, and Peter will back me up on this one, I also go to a property investors network. If you don't go to your local property investors network or whatever it might be, I would definitely advise you to go there.
Yeah.
I went there and I was the only estate agent. Now, they don't particularly like estate agents, but I think if you introduce yourself and say that, you know, you have off-market properties Oh my Lord, that's when you get a lot of people come to you at the break.
Yeah.
So that's a monthly one, and I go to it every month. But the other ones, that's what I do.
And Steph and Daryl set up their own networking groups because there wasn't anything local. So if you need any help on that, I'm sure they'll be happy to tell you how they did it.
Yeah, because there is a local property networking group which happens once a month, but they are more bothered about sponsorships and stuff like that rather than talking to you and understanding your business and stuff like that. That's
Yeah,
why.
obviously the property groups, they're training. They are training groups, and what they want to do is sell you training. But if
Yeah,
you go, you know you're not going to buy the training, but you still want to come from contribution. They'll often have right in the middle, they'll have like a service provider section where you give it out, you've got 20 seconds or 30 seconds just to promote yourself. So do something a little bit maybe funny or unusual.
Just be remembered, yeah.
I have a sort of strap line at the end of most of my sort of 60 seconds. The 60 seconds pitch you do.
yeah.
And it's just property questions on properties. You might have millions. Speak to me, George Wragg, Keller Williams. But people associate that. And Daryl stood in for me at a couple of sessions, and they look at him going, "Where's the strap line? Where's the strap? You got to do the
And
strap line."
they said it back to you, didn't they, Daryl?
Yeah, I obviously I didn't know about it, and then they all did it back to me. I'm like, oh well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that's not right.
Yeah, just be memorable.
But I also I did this one as well, and I've been there a couple of months and wherever you. And I stood up and I said, "Hi, it's George. I've got me on a estate agency business. Just take out your pens, will you? Just can you write this down?" And I said, "My mobile number." I said, "That's the number that you need to put in your phone." And people loved it. And then the next month when I went in, the guy who hosted it had put it on a whiteboard already.
To put it ahead of you, yeah, so brilliant. But I mean, hopefully that's helped today, guys, with some ideas and some tips and stuff. Don't try to change everything at once. Just change one thing, get it right, and change another, because it gets overwhelming. But also, George and I's mobile numbers. If there's ever anything that we can help, or you want to bounce ideas off us, we're always open to helping other people within Keller. Not a problem.
Before you guys go, who does your workflows? I know that you were doing with Yvonne, didn't you?
The workflows, Mark's just created everything. They're all sat in your nurtures waiting for you to adapt them to yourself and publish. They're all there. But you do need to take time away and be quiet and get those sorted.
But for the business showcase, for instance, Sue and my son have created them.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because our son's one of our admins.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
Great.
Thank you so much for the power up.
Have a fantastic week ahead.
Yeah, have a great one.
And
See you now.
Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.
Mm.